Hi, I'm Sandy Schroeck, and today we're going to be looking at a garden gathered cube vase. Kind of an updated look that's a little bit more spread out. Here you can see we have a selection of cubes that come 6 in a case, 2 of each of these colors. Great colors for fall, kind of in the burgundy and the orange and then the green tone. But just as we're looking at this design, what we're doing is opening up those floral materials a little bit more. We're using a stem grid base of Huckleberry and then a few featured flowers up on top using some of the Leucadendron, a couple of the ranunculus, but then also doing our basing with a lot of long-lasting feature florals that are a variety, a couple carnations used down in the basing, and then some of the disbuds. The purple cremons here are just an amazing product with more of that loose open style with product groupings to kind of emphasize that as different products. So I hope you'll enjoy this video as we create this design. So to start off, creating this design in this emerald cube, we're going to be using Huckleberry to create a stem grid base. And what I'm doing with the stem grid is creating crossing stems that are going to feed together in X patterns that are going to create the structure that our design materials are going to go into. So I keep coming across, I'm stripping the foliage that goes under the water, and I keep coming across the same bind point in the middle. And so you can see it forms more of a loose, open base that we'll be designing into. I'm going to drop this in. And then I'm going to add a little bit of Leatherleaf to lock it in. And I'm not going to take it down real far. I'm going to leave it on longer pieces so that the tips extend out beyond the floral materials as well. Really seeing the value of that material. It's going to go a little bit shorter, but what I'm doing is just cutting off so that I have an X that can come in the middle, and then here, and just lastly I'm going to extend out a few more pieces to the side, just really giving increased value perception and gonna give me more of a bohemian update. Okay, now we're ready to add our floral materials, and you can see that I've chosen a little bit non-traditional color palette. I've got some pink tones and some chocolates, a little bit into the lavender tones, but a variety of materials that kind of is that updated seasonal collection for fall. And what we're going to do is start off with the floral materials that are on the outside bottom rim. I'm putting the materials in groupings, so one material at a time. You can see I'm crossing, so crossing there, and I'm going to come to the other side and insert a different material that's similar color going back and forth but different textures. Still coming across that stem grid so that it feels very tight in, and you can see the crossing stems happening in there. Add in some of our feature materials now more into the middle. We've got some LenBusch grown gerbs. I've got a couple of the Leucadendron, and this is something I'm paying a little bit more money for. It's a little higher priced, and so I'm going to be putting it right up in the middle with something I call money on top. And so that you can see now as I'm sticking those flowers in the middle, that stem structure is really solid to be able to come in, and they just stand right up where I place them. Here I've got some Echinacia pods that are that visual textural interest. And here's a pro tip. I'm saving the Empress cremins that are this fabulous pink two-tone color. And I'm going to put those in at the end of the design. So I'm saving spaces for them, but rather than insert it earlier, you have the potential to shatter them. So I save the space, but insert them as one of my last floral materials going in. Next, we're going to add something that kind of goes over the edge and adds that drape. We have some chocolate painted dip dyed seeded eucalyptus, and I'm gonna come here and then repeat it over on this side too, to just get that repetition of color that carries your eye from one side to the other. Adding a little bit of the natural green wheat, and I'm gonna put those in 3 at a time to just ease those going in and have them land in a grouping. Couple of Scabiosa, they're gonna dance on the tops. And then we'll come in with those cremins. And you're just gonna see on here how all of a sudden it'll help to get that focal point. So it's a lighter color, it's gonna come down below, close to the rim of the container, but it'll really add that final depth and dimension into this design. So here's our completed design. You can see some of the chocolate elements are a little bit more out through the sides. And then some of the pink elements, although they're different, they're grouped in a little bit of a pathway that leads your eye throughout that design. So different textural interest that comes through the design, but yet similar coloration to just increase that perceived value and really anchor this design together. And so we know your customers are gonna love this design, and I wanna thank you for watching. Make sure if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscription bell so you can hear about any time that we upload another video. And while you're there, take a look at our other playlists on our YouTube channel. We have a variety of floral education and inspiration, wedding ideas, corsage ideas. So make sure, hit that subscription bell if you haven't done that yet. And I hope that you'll enjoy making some fabulous florals. I'm Sandy Schroeck for LBR Inspires.